right, welcome back to Reviews and Rankings with Robby Sobel, and today it is yet another first reaction and review, not so much from myself, but of this guy, Little Robby. Today, we're taking a look at 1996 and Wes Craven's classic, Scream. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel again, of course, and I'm joined by my on-again, off-again co-host, Little Robby. And if you are familiar with the channel, thanks for coming back. If you're new to the channel, what we do here, every once in a while, we have a special video that's a little bit different, not just in the aesthetics and the way it looks, but just in kind of the delivery. I've been showing my son some horror movies, really over the last couple of months now, I guess, that he's never seen before. These are like classics that I love, that you probably love, but he's 13, gonna be 14 years old, so he hasn't had the time to really watch these, but now I got him in like overdrive mode, and he's checking all of these out. And today we are taking a look at Scream, the 1996 hit from Wes Craven, of course, starring Neve Campbell, Rose McGowan, Matthew Lillard, and Skeet Ulrich. So, of course, you guys know the plot of Scream. A mysterious killer is stalking these kids in this town, calling them up. We don't know who this person is. It's a very mysterious voice, and these kids are dropping like flies, and the main final girl, Sidney Prescott, played by Neve Campbell, is trying to survive and unravel this mystery. So before I give you any of my thoughts at all, I'm going to just hand it over to the man himself, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the hit maker, the record breaker. He's got style and grace and a lovely face. That's my boy right there, Little Robby. What did you think? First reaction and opinion on Scream.
Of all the movies we watched so far, this is by far my favorite. I'm just going to say this was awesome. I mean, everything about it, I was just into it. I couldn't get out of it. And then, you know, like the plot twist at the end, the entire time I'd been trying to like piece together things that I knew from what we had seen, trying to figure out who it was. And then, you know, we get to that end and it was just like, wow, that's crazy. Absolutely incredible. Like 10 out of 10.
Oh, all right. A 10 out of 10 rating from Robby.
That was incredible. I don't know what else to say.
Now, let me ask you this, because I told you right when the movie had started, I mentioned about Drew Barrymore, who plays the main girl in the, well, the first girl, rather, Casey Becker, I believe her name is, Casey Becker. And, you know, she gets the phone call, and she's the first one to die. She dies a horrific death. But before we talk about that, what did you think about kind of the way that the suspense was in that scene with the phone calls and the game that was played?
Like, it's hard to explain it, because to me, that's like the first time I've seen something like that. You know, I'm sure that other movies have done that, but it would be hard for me to believe they've done it nearly as well as they did in this. Like you said, the suspense was just so powerful.
Building up well.
Absolutely, yeah. And then, you know, it's just like, you know, when she is, you know, her throat, you know, has been cut, she can't talk, and you see her parents walking in, it's just like, I'm just squeezing the sheet here, because you just want to do something, but you can't, you know.
She was so close, but because of the throat, she couldn't let her scream out, of course, yeah.
It just,
what did you think of right as she dies and the mother and father see her, and we kind of get that fast zoom to her hanging on that tree?
That was great transition, too. I want to say that was great. Oh, yeah.
So would you say that the opening scene really kind of set the tone well?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And for me, like, gore's not really a problem. But early on, I feel like you can gauge the level. Yeah. And that scene where her boyfriend, you know, gets ripped. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. That was, like, speaking to me, like, here's your tone. Yeah. You can only go, this is probably the worst it's going to get. I was wrong.
Now, as far as likable characters, getting to know the characters, a lot of times in these movies, if you don't have good characters, you're gonna get kind of bored and you're not gonna be into it. Was there a character or two in this movie that you kind of gravitated to the most, and maybe either related to or was just entertained with in general?
What was the the officer's name? Dewey. I feel like
Dewey?
He was pretty funny. I liked him. He was a good part of the movie, I think.
Yeah.
But as far as relating to a character, I don't know if I could say I really related to anyone too much. But no, I mean, absolutely. I mean, the character building, and just the plot twists throughout, like little things like, oh, I suspect this person, but now I don't. Now I suspect this person. It was like a roller coaster. It was crazy. Now,
we talked about some of the kills in this. Obviously, the kill early on with Casey Becker being hung up on the tree. Mm-hmm. There were a few other really good kills, but there was one that really caught your eye when. Do you want to talk about that one in the garage area?
Oh yeah, that was. Okay, so when I'm trying to remember her name. What was her name?
Her name is Tatum, played by Rose McGowan. That was Dewey's sister.
Yeah. Okay. So when she is, she's locked in the garage there with whoever it was that was playing the part. We don't know exactly. At least I don't.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And she goes for the dog door. I was like, all right, something better happen here because she's struggling to get through. It's not working. And then it's just him. He's just like, I was like, oh no. And then the film, like the camera work, great on that, absolutely. Especially
as her head gets crushed.
Yeah,
that was rough.
I was like, ooh.
Personally for me, I think probably my favorite character in it was Randy, the video store guy, because he's a big movie buff, and it's
the entire time you're like, that's pretty much me.
Yeah, pretty much. So I really liked him. There was a lot of really good characters. What did you think of Sydney, the main final girl, who, we've seen some of these horror movies now that, you've seen the Halloween films, and the Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis character, which is interesting because towards the last act of this film, the kids are watching the original Halloween, and a lot of the music from that film is being played as the background noise for this film.
Great. That was awesome too. I love the is the cameo, that's the word?
Yeah.
Yeah, with like all the different movies.
Yeah, where they talk about.
Yeah, that was cool.
Now,
I like that.
What did you think of Sidney Prescott playing that role?
Great.
So you really did like her. She was a little more blue.
Yeah.
Do you think she was do you think she played that stronger and better than the Laurie Strode character in the first Halloween? She was a little more realistic, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. The kids in this felt like they played their roles not so much as a kind of a stereotype in a horror movie, but they felt a little bit more realistic. They weren't as dumb.
Exactly, yeah. And that was funny too because throughout the entire movie, they're talking like, right at the end there, they're doing the news report, and she's like, it's like a scene out of a scary movie, and they were mentioning that throughout the whole film. That was great.
So on top now, the ending reveal, it turns out that the Ghostface killer is not one person, but rather two, and it's Billy Loomis, the boyfriend, and Stu, played by Matthew Lillard, who you had a chance to meet.
I did.
A couple of years ago at Spooky Empire, right here in Orlando.
I didn't know this.
Yes, you did not know.
I thought of him as Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, we met Matthew Lillard. We were probably about 40 people deep on the line, but when he saw that you were with me, he doesn't like kids to wait.
That was crazy too.
Yep, pulled you right up, talked to you for a few minutes, and
we would have been waiting for.
He was a really nice guy, and that was great of him. What did you think of the reveal? Did you expect it to be either one of those guys or both?
Not.
No.
Okay, well, so at the beginning, I was like, okay, well, I think it's Billy,
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people did. But then when they got him that early on, that was kind of for me like okay, well, I don't think he is now.
Yeah, I'm not going to go back to it.
In fact, I didn't even know if he was going to be there for the rest of the movie. Until like the very end, maybe. So that was a surprise. And then Stu, I thought it was just some side character, like
just a friend.
Yeah, I didn't think he was really going to be that important to the story. In fact, I didn't know I thought he might get killed.
Now, when he did die, did you like? He ends up dying by a TV falling on his face.
That was crazy. Yep.
But overall, a good, strong ending. You like to see the female lead there, and along with Randy and Gail, the news reporter, who has a nice arc in this movie. She goes from being kind of real, just a nasty, snotty woman.
Obnoxious.
but then turns out to be pretty good at the end, right there with Dewey. And just so you know, we have a few more of these to watch as the weeks go on.
Yeah.
In January, Scream 5 comes out.
Oh, wow. That's
so
cool.
that's right. So we got a bunch. So overall, Scream 1996 from Wes Craven. Of course, he was the director of films like A Nightmare on Elm Street. They of course reference in this Wes Craven as a cameo as a janitor named Fred who dresses just like Freddy Krueger. He's done other films like The Last House on the Left and The Hills Have Eyes and many others. So overall, your rating on this, you said 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, same old thing, perfect.
Yep, sticking with that.
This is your favorite so far.
Absolutely, this is awesome.
Well, you know what? Scream is one of my all-time favorite horror films as well. This came out when I was about 12 years old, slightly younger than little Robby here. I loved it then, I love it now, and I'm glad that he feels the exact same way. But what about you guys? Are you a fan of Scream? Do you think it's a little overrated? Do you think it's underrated? Whatever your thoughts are, you can leave them in the comment section below. If you like this video, you can hit like. If you loved it, you can subscribe. And remember, you can visit me on Instagram and Twitter at RankingsRS. So thanks for checking out the channel and keep watching movies.